What's up everyone, welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over Google Ads Performance Max campaigns. I'm going to show you a step-by-step process for creating these types of campaigns, and I'm going to start this video by going over basically everything you need to know about Performance Max to get started to hopefully answer any initial questions that you might have. So if you're running Performance Max campaigns, some important things to know. You want to use a campaign objective of sales, leads, or local store visits and promotions. You really want to focus on conversions to get the most out of your campaign. Now, number two, your ads can run across all Google channels, so it gives you much more automation for your campaign. Your targeting is going to be much different than what you're used to if you're used to running standard search campaigns or display campaigns, and your ads are going to run across YouTube, display, search, discover, Gmail, and Google Maps. So basically everywhere that Google Ads run, your ads can potentially run as well. And basically what Google Ads is going to try to do is drive you conversions by finding people that are going to be the most likely to convert on your website. Number three, so if you have an e-commerce website and you have a Google Merchant Center feed, you can actually use that as part of your Performance Max campaign. Google Ads will automatically create your advertisements based on your Google Merchant Center feed. So if you have a very good optimized feed, then it can be a great way to drive more conversions for an e-commerce website as well. Now, to get the best results, you want to use the best possible creative assets. I will go through this in the video, and you want to use audience signals as well. So let's get started and start creating our Google Ads Performance Max campaign. Okay, so coming back over to our Google Ads interface, you can see right here, I have a Performance Max campaign running for my website, farmhousegoals.com. So I'm going to be showing you how I created this campaign and basically go through the process of creating this campaign again. But you can see as we scroll over here, the campaign type is Performance Max, and you can see I have spent only a little over $50 and I have over 1,000 clicks. I have a very high click-through rate, a lot of impressions already too. But the most important thing over here, so my average cost per interaction is only 5 cents. So that's very, very low. And it's driven 530 conversions, and my cost per conversion is only 10 cents. So my conversion rate is about 50% so far. So I've seen very good results with Performance Max. And when using it with other clients, I've seen very good results as well. I was skeptical before I started using it, but I would highly recommend testing it. You can run it alongside other campaigns that you're running and basically just see what's going to give you the best performance for your budget. So I would recommend using a test budget for Performance Max, seeing how your results look, and then going from there and just trying to optimize your budget as best as possible. Now, a couple things before we get started with building our campaign. You definitely want to make sure that you have conversion actions that you're optimizing for. So in this case, I'm going to be optimizing for my purchase conversion action on my website. I will have a video out on my channel in the next coming days about how to set up conversion tracking. It's going to be a simple setup process, but you can see here I have my conversion. So this month so far, I have 561 total conversions from Google Ads campaigns. So let's come back over here to Google Ads and let's build our campaign. So we want to get started by creating a new campaign, and what you're going to see first is your campaign objective. So this is where sales, leads, or the local store visits and promotions is what you want to choose your objective. In my case, it's going to be sales. So I'm going to choose sales here, and then it's going to say use these conversion goals to improve sales. So the best thing you can do is focus on the conversions that are most profitable for your business. So you may have dynamic conversion values. So that means every time you make a sale, depending on how much that sale is, you also may just have a conversion where you're just trying to drive leads. So in my case, if we come over here to my conversion tracking, you can see my purchases for every conversion, the conversion value is 1. So I have 561 total conversions. My conversion value is 561. So you really want to focus on conversion value if you can. Otherwise, just focus on each individual conversion that you're driving. So as we come over here and we're building a new campaign, the main thing I want to focus on is purchases. So I'm going to take these other conversions and remove them. Now keep in mind, you can optimize for multiple conversions in this campaign. So what you want to do is really just focus on that value. If let's just say a phone call is worth more to your business than someone filling out a form on your website, then you want to make sure that you have a value that reflects that as you set up your conversion tracking. So what we're going to do here is we're going to remove the submit lead forms and we're just going to focus on purchases here. So now what we want to do is come over down here and click on continue, and then it's going to tell us to select a campaign type. This is where you want to select Performance Max, reach audiences across all of Google with a single campaign, and then you want to name your campaign and click on continue. Okay, so you can see here on the left, so we start with our budget and bidding and then choose our campaign settings, create an asset group. So the easiest way to think about an asset group is it's almost like an ad group within your Performance Max campaign. But what's going to happen is you can create multiple asset groups, and then Google Ads will use the asset group that is performing the best for you. Then we can implement all of our relevant extensions, and by the time we get to the summary page, we could choose to launch our campaign. So let's start with our budget and bidding. I set my budget for $5 a day to get started. You really want to make sure your budget drives. I always try to focus, if you're focusing on conversions, you always want to make sure you're driving at least 2 or 3 per day. It's going to be the best way to get the most out of your campaign. So if your average cost per conversion is, let's just say $10, then for your budget here, you'd probably want to focus on a $30 daily budget at a minimum. So in this case, I'm just going to set my budget. We'll just do $10 per day. You can always increase your budget over time, and keep in mind, you won't pay more than your daily budget times the average number of days in a month, which is 30.4. So if I set my budget at $10 per day, I'm not going to spend more than $304 over the course of a month. Now, next is going to be our bidding strategy. So like I said before about conversion value, if you are optimizing for a conversion value, then that's what you want to choose here. And then you can actually set a target return on ad spend. So I can come here and say, I want to drive a target return on ad spend of at least 150%. Now in my case, I'm focusing strictly on conversions. I can set a target cost per action, or what you can do is allow the campaign to optimize for conversions and use the maximize conversions bid strategy, and then set a target cost per action later. For me, I usually set a target cost per action because it's going to use my account's history. So this is setting my target CPA at $1.40. So that's what I'm going to choose here. And then with my budget, I would want to spend at least $5 a day with this target CPA. So that would make sure that I'm driving at least 3 conversions per day, hopefully more. But if you're not driving conversions every single day, it's harder for your campaign to be optimized. So we're going to click on next, and it's going to bring us into our campaign settings. So what you want to do is choose your locations to target. I'm just going to choose United States and Canada for this. Next, you're going to choose your language targeting. So you want to select the languages your customers speak. In this case, I'm just going to keep mine as English. And then we're going to scroll down. We're going to click on more settings. So you can set an ad schedule. You can use start and end dates. Final URL expansion. So this is an important part of Performance Max campaigns. And with final URL expansion, you want to leave this on. So what that means is Google Ads will use different targeted URLs when it's likely to result in better performance. So if I choose my homepage as a landing page, if I choose this 52 beautiful farmhouse decorations page as a landing page, what Google Ads will do if I keep final URL expansion on is Google Ads will actually send traffic to other pages on my website if it's more likely to result in conversions. So I would highly recommend keeping this on. And then if you want to exclude specific URLs, you can click here and choose specific URLs from your website that you don't want to send traffic to. So I would recommend keeping that on. And then last but not least, you can set campaign URL options and put your tracking templates. I'm not going to be doing that in this video. So we're going to click on next. And what we're doing now is creating an asset group. So an asset group is basically where we put together all of our creative assets to go run across YouTube, Gmail, search, display, and discover. So we want to get started by entering a final URL here. So in my case, I'm just going to use my homepage because my homepage is basically a hub for all the different pages on my website, whether it's shop pages or blog pages. I basically listed it with some of the more valuable pages on my website and allows people to easily find what they're looking for. And since I have URL expansion on, it is going to send traffic to other pages on my website as well. Next is going to be images. You want to add up to 15 images. I would highly recommend taking advantage of every single image that you can. So first is going to be our asset library. So if you've already uploaded images here, it's going to pull up any of those assets here. And now keep in mind, let's just say I'm selecting this specific image. When we click on it and we go to selected, some of the different ratios are 1.91 by 1, 1 by 1, so basically a square, and then 4 by 5. So if you choose some of these different ratios, you can kind of adjust the way these look, and you want to make sure that you have large enough images. So for something that's 785 by 785, I wouldn't recommend this 1.91 by 1. You want to make sure you're using large, high quality images because they're going to run across the internet and you don't want them to look bad. So for this, in this case, I could use this image as a 1 by 1 and a 4 by 5. So we're going to select two ratios. Now you can also click on scan website and it's going to pull images directly from your website. You can go to upload and you can choose files to upload, and then you can see you can crop each image to different aspect ratios later. And then all the way over to the right, it's going to show our selected assets. So again, we have 15 total that we can use here. So let's come back over to our asset library, and I'm going to choose a few more. So if we choose this one right here and we do selected, it's automatically going to choose this 1.91 by 1. And for the 4 by 5, it says this image doesn't meet the minimum requirements for that crop ratio. So in this case, I'm just going to choose this one ratio here. And since we have 15 total images, what you want to try to do is use 5, 5, and 5 here, or make sure you have at least 3 for each of the different aspect ratios. So let me go through and choose a few more images here. Okay, so we could choose this sync image and we can select some different ratios. So we'll use the 1.91 by 1. We can use the 1 by 1 here and just kind of select a nice little crop, and then 4 by 5. That should work there as well. So we have 3 different ratios for this image. We can use this one here. I'm going to click on selected. We could do 1 by 1, and 4 by 5 works great as well. So we have 2 different ratios here. We could use this large image here, and we're just going to use our 1.91 by 1. Now keep in mind, over here, selected assets, we have 9 total, so we need 6 more. So we would just want to choose a few more of these. So I'm kind of going to fast forward to this part. What I try to do is choose the best possible images I can, and just basically understand that Google Ads is going to keep serving whichever images are working the best for me. So we're up to 11 selected assets here now. So we could use this one for a couple different ratios. Actually, this is one we've already used, so I'm going to get rid of this, go back to results. I'm going to kind of fast forward through this part a little bit and get up to 15. Okay, so we have 15 total assets here. So if we come over, you can see we have 15 out of 15 images. So what we can do now is click on save, and that's going to add all of those images to our asset library. Next is going to be logos. We can add up to 5 logos here. So this is going to pull the logos out of my asset library as well. So I'm going to scroll down and find my logos. So first one here, so we'll click on it. It's going to automatically use a 4 by 1 ratio. So if I do 1 by 1, you can see it doesn't really look that great. I could try to do a logo like this, but in this case, I'm just going to use the 4 by 1, select 1 ratio. Now for the logos, we can use up to 5. So again, there's really no downside to using more assets. It's basically just going to give Google Ads more images to test with. So you can just use 2 like this if you want, or you can kind of try to mix and match some different ratios and see what works the best. So I could do something like this for a square image and select these 2 ratios. And we have 4 logos, so we'll click on save and move on to the next step. So next is going to be videos. Now this is where if you do have a YouTube channel with some good product videos, or you already have some great product videos on your website, we can click to add videos. We can search YouTube. So it's going to say enter a YouTube URL or search by keyword or channel. So you can choose to just search your channel right here. If I click on recently used, it's going to pull up some of the different videos I've used in the past. So I can click on something like this, but this is actually for a previous June promotion. So in this case, I don't have any videos to use. So what I would want to do is make sure I upload a video to YouTube and then use that in this campaign. In this case, I'm not using one right now, so I'm going to click on cancel. Google will automatically create videos using these other assets. So if my ad can run across YouTube, what Google Ads will actually do is take my images and logos and create a video for me. Now, obviously, it's better to create your own videos because it's going to look better, but that's kind of what how to handle videos if you don't have one for your campaign, is just make sure you're using your 15 images and using your logos as well. Now, keep in mind, as we build our asset library, they're going to rate our ad up here so you can see images. So they give us a check mark here. Since I'm not using any videos, it's not going to be as good of an ad as it could be, but we could always go back and add videos later or create a new asset library as we upload our videos to YouTube. So we want to scroll down here, and with headlines, long headlines, descriptions, and your call to action, and then we have business name all the way here at the bottom, you want to fill out every possible option that they give you. So descriptions, they give you 160 character description, 4 other 90 character descriptions. So you want to use every single line, because what Google Ads is automatically going to do is serve whatever's performing the best. So call to action in my case is going to be shop now. Enter my business name is going to be Farmhouse Goals. And then now we can go from the top to the bottom. So we're going to come up top here and start with our 5 headlines. So I'm kind of going to fast forward through this part and not just write out every single headline. And then I'm going to show you everything that I have before we get to the next step. Okay, so I have 5 headlines here. I have Shop Our Farmhouse Decor, Shop Farmhouse Goals, Rustic Home Decorations, Upgrade Your Style Today, and Top Rated Farmhouse Styles. So we're going to scroll down here and we're going to add some long headlines. So we have 5 different long headlines that we can add. Okay, so fast forwarding a little bit, I added my 5 long headlines here. So next is going to be to finish this with my descriptions. So again, we have our 160 character description and then 4 other descriptions that we can add. So I'm going to enter all of these now. Okay, again, fast forwarding a little bit. So I have all of my description lines here now. We have set our call to action. You can see my ad strength is good because I don't have a video. So basically what I want to do is make sure I add a video. So otherwise everything is all good to go. So we're ready to move on to our audience signals. So what you want to do is use an audience signal to reach the right audiences faster. Performance Max will use it as a starting point to find new conversions across Google. So what you want to do here for an audience signal, you can see the audience I've already used. So I have my all users from the last 540 days remarketing audience, and then I've used a couple different in-market audiences and then some custom intent audiences that I've created. So if we create a new one here, what we can do is I'll do audience signal 2. So first what we could do is use our data. So if we click here to use our data and I go to browse, you can see it's going to pull up all of my different retargeting audiences. In this case, I'm going to use everybody who's visited my website over the last 540 days. The other thing you could use here is maybe new visitors over the last 7 days or something along those lines. You can use a converted audience, so people who have recently converted on my website. What I'm going to do is use this first visit last 75 days. So first visitors to my website over the last 75 days. Now keep in mind, your ads are going to be shown to people beyond our selections here. So you're not just limited to the audiences that we're adding here. So you don't have to worry about having too small of an audience here. What you really are doing is giving Google Ads a starting point. So next is going to be some detailed demographics, some interests. So basically what I like to do is use some of these different in-market segments. You can come over here to browse, use in-market segments, life events, detailed demographics, or affinity segments. I like to stick in the in-market segments here. And since I've used some of these in the past, you could see home decor, primitive decor, home furnishings, home and garden. So I'm going to use these 4 different in-market segments. Then last but not least, custom segments. So I've created some different custom audiences already. You can see I have a custom intent audience, and basically it's people who have searched these different relevant keywords recently in Google. So I can use this custom intent audience. You could see this one is farmhouse goals, interests, and purchases. So it's going to say all of these different keywords as well. So I can add those also to my audience signal here that I'm creating. And right now you can see best practices for sales, use custom segments, and use your data. So Google Ads is going to be able to use all of this different data here and hopefully find people who are going to be the most likely to convert on my website. So we're going to take all of these here and we're going to click on save. So you want to use audience signals because it allows you to basically tell Google Ads, here's who I want you to show my ads to. Find other similar people who are going to be also likely to convert who might not currently be in any of these audiences. So what we're able to do is click on next. So after this is going to be extensions. So you want to take advantage of every relevant extension for your business. So site link, call out, call extensions. You can add a phone number to your ad. And then if we click on more extensions here, you can add a lead form. You can add structured snippets. You can add prices if you have set prices on your products or services. You can add promotion extensions if you're running a current promotion. And then you can also use location extensions as well if you do have a physical store location. So what I would recommend doing is trying to find the best extensions that are going to be relevant for basically any advertisement that's running. So when it comes to site link extensions, I don't want something that's so kind of niche like a farmhouse bookshelf. I really want to focus on shop our store. So right here, I have 52 farmhouse decorations. This is basically a list of 52 of the top rated farmhouse decorations. So no matter what people are looking for, this could be a relevant page for them. Shop farmhouse decor. If we come up here a little bit, let's try to find a couple more. I usually try to recommend using at least 4 site link extensions. They have at least 2 here. So we're going to try to find a couple different options. We'll do farmhouse furniture. And if we come over here we'll just click on our home page. So we'll do these 4 different pages here. These are 4 really good pages that if anybody goes and clicks on any of these site links, they could lead to conversions without a doubt. So we have our 4 different site link extensions here. Next, we want to choose call out extensions. This is where you want to have things like free shipping or any promotions you're running. You could do things like best farmhouse furniture. So just basically selling points, promotions. That's kind of the way you want to use call out extensions. So I'll choose a few here, and we'll use something like fast shipping and returns, savings and deals, hand-picked products. So we have 6 different call out extensions. You want to use at least 2. Again, I've mentioned this a lot, but Google Ads is just going to find whatever works best for your business. Call extensions, I don't have a phone number for this business. Lead form extensions, I don't have a lead form. Structured snippets, so this is something that I can use. So types, I can do furniture, decor, bedding, sinks, area rugs, lighting. So there's styles, I can do farmhouse, rustic, shabby chic, country, vintage. So we're going to use these 2 different structured snippet extensions. So the other 4 down here aren't really going to be relevant for me either. I don't have set prices on some of my products. It's basically they vary based on a bunch of different factors. Promotion extensions, I don't have a promotion. I don't have a physical store location. So we're ready to click on next. Okay, so now it's going to say review your campaign. Double check your details before you publish. Now it's giving us an issue over here in our asset group, so we want to go back and make sure we fix whatever issue it has. So I don't see any obvious issues here, and it's not showing me any errors. So the only error I can think is that I'm missing a video. So that's really no problem. You can still launch your campaign without a video. So we're going to come down here to summary, and what we're going to do is we're going to publish our campaign now. So you want to basically double check everything, make sure you're not missing anything, make sure you have the right budget you want, the bidding strategy you want. And if we scroll up to the top, we can click on publish campaign. And now if we see here, if we come back over to all of our campaigns, you can see we have our new campaign launched. So it's going to show this one down here at the bottom. Our bid strategy is learning. It might take a couple days to spend your full budget, or you might spend it on day 1. And then what you want to do is just monitor your performance. Don't make too many drastic changes. I would highly recommend letting this run for at least a week, which is why you can always start with a test budget and increase your budget later, because your performance should only improve over time. Now, the next thing you can do is if you click on your campaign, you can go into your asset groups and create new asset groups here within your existing campaign. So if I click on create a new asset group, I can also copy an existing asset group from another campaign. So that's something you'll want to do because it just allows for more testing, and it's just ultimately going to increase your performance over time. So if you have any questions about getting started with Performance Max campaigns, please leave them in the comments section. They're definitely worth testing, even if you start with a $10, $20, $30 per day budget, and then just increase it over time based on the performance that you're seeing. You want to make sure you're using conversion tracking because that's going to allow you to see the success of your campaign. And then from there, what you want to do is just create new asset groups and also focus on making sure that you have really good landing pages on your website wherever you're sending traffic to. So the more you can optimize your own website and the conversion rate on your website, the better you're going to see from your Google Ads campaigns as well. So if you have any questions, again, please leave them in the comment section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.